Discord. 31st of January, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos. And share screen. Okay, you're good.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you again, Lou. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshivat Samanavchi here, Shleim Kiro Zoom. This is our first year in the morning. We're learning Pierke Avos, the first parak in Avos. Mishnah Yud Gimel, according to the numeralization of the Maharal Miprag, whose commentary we're learning. So let's start from the beginning. Mayor, go ahead. Let's start again. Let's review the Mishnah, and then I'll tell Lou the chiddush, the new insight we had today in the understanding of the Mishnah.
Tzedaka. So we find that there are four kinds of, people who donate charity or give charity. Okay, and the first one which we were discussing was Arotze sheyitain velo yitnu acherim. Eino ra'ah b'shel acherim. Okay, so this is the one who wants to give, but doesn't want others to give. And he has a bad attitude towards others.
Yeah. So we were thinking about a chiddush we made just now. That what does it mean? I know Ra b'shel acherim. He has a bad attitude towards other people. B'shel acherim, in that which is other people's, in that which belongs to other people's. B'shel acherim, it's not against. He doesn't have against the people themselves. B'shel acherim, b'shel doesn't. If it was against the people, it would have said I know Ra b'acherim. But here it says I know Ra b'shel acherim. He has a bad attitude towards that which belongs to other people. What belongs to other people? Now it could be their possessions. Could be he's a bad attitude toward their possessions. But it makes more sense that his bad attitude towards what they have, that which is theirs. What's theirs? Their skus, as Roy was saying, their skus to do the mitzvah. He doesn't want other people to do this mitzvah because he has a bad attitude towards them doing this mitzvah. So he's begrudging them of doing the mitzvah. That b'shel acherim is their zuchus, their potential to do the mitzvah. And we're going to have to see if that's going to fit into what the morale is going to explain. We'll see about that soon. Let's continue on. Go ahead, Mayor.
Okay, so then it goes on. Yitenu acherim v'hu lo yitain. So that he wants others to give, but he will not give. So he has a poor attitude towards himself. Okay, that was two.
Those are two, what we could call the middle.
These are the middle
right.
ones?
I would think these are two middle types, right? Not the extremes. We can have the extremes now coming up.
Okay, so others should give, but not him. Okay, so the next one is Yitain the new Acherim Chassid. Oh, that really is a big one. Okay, so it says so that he should give and others should give also. And he's considered a Chassid.
So that's an extreme to the side of good, right?
Yeah, well, it means everyone should give basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and the last one is, let's see, Lo yitain v'lo yitnu acherim. Rasha. So he doesn't want to give, and he doesn't want others to give, and that's considered a bad person, a wicked person, I guess.
Right. He's not doing much good for himself, and he's not letting. He's not doesn't want other people to do good either. Well, okay, very good. So now let's see. The morale is going to he's going to present two questions here.
Okay. Morale says, Aval, is it Aval? Where are we?
He says he quotes the second paragraph.
Oh, we're in the second paragraph. Okay.
Yes, right.
So Arba Midot Benotenu Benotni Tzedaka. Yesh Lishol Shamar Arba Midot Benotni Tzedaka. Okay.
Oh, so it says Yeshul shoulders to ask. Sha'amar dal midos benosni tzedakah. It said that there are four characteristics of those people who give tzedakah. And it's said in the Mishnah afterwards.
Maria can't hear you.
Try to get closer to my microphone.
Right.
Okay. So let's see. Kach lo yitain v'lo yitnu acherim ve'im kain eino notain tzedakah.
So afterwards it says lo yitain, he doesn't give, lo yitnu acherim, and others shouldn't give. V'im kain, if so, eino notain tzedakah. This is not a giving of tzedakah. We said there are four types that give tzedakah, and this is not a case of giving tzedakah, right? So according to the opening words of the Mishnah, this statement is a little bit off mark in terms of the preface that the Mishnah began with. Okay, that's one question.
Oh, okay. So that's not given tzedakah. Okay. Okay, the Od Kasha. So there's still another question. Shamar Rotzeh Sheyitain V'lo Yitnu Acherim Davar Zeh Ein Sfara Sherotzeh Sheyitain V'lo Yitnu Acherim.
Right, and also in the case, it says Rotzalitain, that he wants to give, below Yitna Cherim, and others shouldn't give. This thing is not logical. It's not logical that he wants to give and he doesn't want other people to give, right?
Let's see.
Okay, we lost your voice, Mary.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So let's see. For Sheyitain V'lo Yitnu Acherim. Okay. She'im Hu Rotzeh Sheyitain. Get that again. No, not comma. Kol Shehu. Kol Shehu Sherotzeh Sheyitnu Acherim.
Right. If he wants to give, he should even more so he wants to give. mean, as we said yesterday, if we're looking from the point of view of the recipient, meaning if the person's giving, right, with the kavana, the intention to help the recipient, so he wants to help the recipient. So Kol Sheken, he wants other people to help the recipient, right?
Right.
That's logically what should be, right?
Mhm.
So what's the explanation? So now the Maharal is going to go in and give us his insights on the explanation here. Maybe it could be. I want to just maybe just emphasize the first question. If you just to emphasize the first question, there's another Mishnah, we'll be getting to it eventually, Be'ezus Hashem. Further on here in the fifth parak as well. Let's see here. Right. You see the there's the next Mishnah after ours. You have a copy of it in front of you? I don't know if you have any. Roy, you probably have a copy of the Mishnah in front of you. The Mishnah is. Well, I'll just mention it to you. The next Mishnah talks about Arba Midas B'Hochli Beis HaMedrash. Right, there are four types of those people who go to the Beis HaMedrash, right? And Beis Medrash, and the last one is Lo Holek V'Lo also. He doesn't go and he doesn't do. He's a Russia, but he's not going. So how is that considered to be a person who goes? We gave the preface to the Mishnah. Arba Midas B'Hochli Beis HaMedrash. There are four people that go to the Beis HaMedrash, and the fourth one, the worst one, is Lo Holek V'Lo also. He doesn't go and he doesn't do. He's a Russia. So that's the same question we would expect. We'll see the Maharal maybe ask the same question. It seems a bit odd that if you're talking about those who go to the Beis HaMedrash or those who give tzedakah, to include in that categorization a person who's not giving, who is not going, right? That's the first question. Okay, let's see the parish. The third paragraph. Who perishes that?
Okay. So it says, HaPerush that Hima she'amar benotni tzedakah, Klomar shemutal alehem she'yitnu tzedakah.
His explanation is Kimasha Omer. That's what we say Benosnei Tzedakah. What does it mean when the Mishnah uses this phrase Benosnei Tzedakah? Those who give tzedakah. Kaloimer. It means to say as follows: Shemutu Alehem Shitin Tzedakah. Meaning Benosnei, those that they are obligated in giving tzedakah. There are four types of people that are obligated in giving tzedakah.
Note nay tzedakah. Okay. Kasher mutal alehem hatzedakah. Okay. Uma she'amah harotzeh sheyitain v'lo yitnu acherim. Nireh she'ein leperush mishum she'oseh tzedakah liyora.
Right. The explanation is not. This is not the way to explain it. It's not to explain it that the person's giving tzedakah liyura to show off, l'chavod, and for his to get recognition, be'alma, in worldly recognition. Right. That's not the explanation. Therefore, he doesn't want other people to give, because that you could understand. If a person wants to give in order that he should get fame and recognition because of his giving tzedakah, of course he wants to be the only one to doing the tzedakah, as other people shouldn't steal the show from it, right? So therefore, that does make sense, but that's not the explanation. The moral says is that's not what the Mishnah is teaching over here, right, Roy?
Rabbi,
Okay.
I think you skipped a sentence. I think the first thing it says is that you're not saying these are four types who give tzedakah. It's saying these are four types who are obligated to give tzedakah.
Right. That's the first part. That's the first explanation for the first question. Meaning the first question was, what do you mean that four types that are giving tzedakah, and you're listing amongst those four types a person who doesn't give tzedakah, right? So that's a non-list. It doesn't belong on the list. So the answer to that question is we're not talking about the four types of people that give tzedakah. We're talking about four groups of obligations in giving tzedakah. In obligations of giving tzedakah, there are four categorizations of giving tzedakah.
So that would explain the next Mishnah also. There's an obligation to go to shul, and upon the people who are obligated to go to shul, which is everybody, there are four different attitudes or approaches to going to shul. One of those is I don't go.
Right. That's right. Good. Very good. Perfect. That's right. It fits in very good. Perfect. Baruch Hashem. Okay. So now, again, this, and the beginning of the second question is that we're not supposed to explain this person who's Ratza Litain below Litain Acherim, he wants to give, but he doesn't want other people to give, that he's not wanting other people to give because he wants to have the full fame and fortune for doing this mitzvah, and he doesn't want other people to do that and steal the show from him. That's not the explanation, right? Go ahead, Meir. Lo shaykh lomer.
Lo shaykh lomar eino ra'ah b'shel acherim. The hagam eino bishlo ra'ah rak she'omer she'itain bishvil Yehora be'alma uvel lav hachi haya eino ra'ah. Excuse me.
The lo shaykh lomer eino ra b'shel acherim. It's not possible to explain. I know Ra b'shel acherim. He has a bad attitude in what is other people's. Why? If you explain it the previous way, that he doesn't want other people to give because he doesn't want them to steal the show from him. The hagam eino b'shelo Ra, because also his attitude towards himself is also bad. Rak she'omer Shitain b'shvil yura be'alma v'lav hachi haya eino ra. Because why? Because in a case where he also has an eino ra b'shaloi, his bad attitude towards himself, rak, he's only saying, he says what? That he's giving b'shvil yura ba'alma. He's only simply giving because of the fame he can gain from giving, right? But without that, it's still going to be a case where his Aino Ra. Which let me just let's think about this one more time. He's also his eyes also bad towards himself. Rak Omer Shitain, right? Because why? Because in this case, if you're going to say that his intention in giving is that he should gain recognition for doing the mitzvah, which is that, as we say that's shalol l'shem shemayim. It's not lishma. He's doing it to gain something. So in that you have to say that's Aino Ra B'Shaloi. He really has a bad attitude towards his own mitzvah, right? If a person is giving, for example, we're talking about the mitzvah of giving tzedakah. If a person is giving tzedakah in order that he should gain fame from it, that means he has an ayin ra b'shaloi. He has a bad attitude towards his own mitzvah. His real attitude should be he's giving it l'shem shemayim, right? He's not doing it for any worldly benefits he's going to get from doing that mitzvah. He wants to give it simply because the Kadosh Baruch Hu has commanded that we do the mitzvah, and he's happy to do it simply because it's a command of the Kadosh Baruch Hu to fulfill the mitzvah. If he's going to be doing a mitzvah, any mitzvah, for alternative motive, that means he's begrudging his own chelik in the mitzvah. He's begrudging his own perfection that can be gained through doing the mitzvah, right? So you can't explain, right, that Aino Ra, right, Bishal Acherim is because he doesn't want other people to do the mitzvah because they're going to steal the show from him and therefore not get the full fame and fortune and recognition he's hoping to do and get from doing this mitzvah of tzedakah, for example. Because if he's not wanting other people to do the mitzvah because he wants the fame and fortune, his wanting fame and fortune is a bad attitude towards his own mitzvah. Is that understood?
I understand the point, but I don't agree. I don't understand the objection. It's consistent. He doesn't care about the mitzvah. So his attitude is, I want to get the aggrandizement of myself, and I don't want anybody else to get the aggrandizement of themselves.
Right.
That's perfectly logical to me.
No, you're right. Correct. There is a logic to it. We do understand it, and I have no doubt there are people that feel and do it for those reasons, right? But it doesn't fit into the words of the Mishnah, right? If you want to say that the motivation for this type of person that's obligated in tzedakah is that he wants to give, but he's doing it because he wants to get fame and fortune and recognition for it, which is lo lishma. And therefore, he doesn't want any other person to give the tzedakah either, right? So he has a begrudging attitude towards them, and he also has a begrudging attitude towards himself. What does it mean that he has a begrudging attitude towards himself? That since he's cheating himself because he's not doing the mitzvah l'shem shemayim, right? But it doesn't say that. It would have to say that. It would have to say he has an ayin ra b'shaloi v'gam b'shal acherim, because he's cheating himself by not doing the mitzvah l'shem shemayim. So it doesn't fit in the words of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says he only is an ayin ra b'shal acherim.
Because the Mishnah is focusing on this world, not the spiritual aspect, but the physical aspect.
No, well, again, we said in general that the general approach is that what does he have in Aino Ra b'Shel Acherim? What's B'Shel Acherim, right? He doesn't have anything against the people. He has something against in that which is belonging to other people. What belongs to other people? The mitzvah. They have a mitzvah to give tzedakah as well. And he has a begrudging attitude towards them, and he doesn't want them to do the mitzvah.
Why can't we say he has a begrudging attitude towards their getting fame and fortune?
That could be also, right? But in either case, whether they're only going to get their fame and fortune through doing the mitzvah, right? So it's a begrudging attitude towards them and their mitzvah. They, again, the Maharal is telling us they were talking about those who are obligated, the obligations of tzedakah, right? So he has a bad attitude towards his obligation of tzedakah, and he has a bad attitude towards them of their obligation of tzedakah. How does he have a bad attitude towards his obligation of tzedakah? Because he's not doing it l'shem shemayim. He's doing it for fame and fortune and recognition, which is going to take away from his eventual perfection and reward that he's supposed to get for that mitzvah. If you want, we can review we want to review the paragraph, it's worthwhile, we can review the paragraph.
No, I've got it. I got it.
Okay. He's just being very specific in trying to focus our attention into what the words actually mean. I mean, I tell you, until yesterday, B'shel Acherim, I always thought he had a bad attitude towards other people, but that's not really what the Mishnah says. The Mishnah doesn't say he has a bad attitude towards other people. He could love them very much, but he just doesn't want them to interfere with his striving to get fame and fortune and recognition. Right? He may love them very much. He may be friendly with them. He may, but he just just don't step on my toes. Don't get in my way. Right? You've probably known people like that they're very nice people, but they just don't get in their way. Okay, let's continue. I will nearer the Haki the parish. So now he's gonna tell us what the proper explanation is.
The Haki Perusho, Shehu Adam, Shemehena Acherim.
Shemahana Echer. He's near Haki Perusha. Shehu Adam Shemahana Acherim. He is a person that benefits other people. This person is a person that benefits other people. Mahana Acherim. Mahana is to benefit other people.
Person of benefits. Okay. Others.
After all, he's giving tzedakah, right? There's a person who gives tzedakah, right?
Mhm.
Okay. When we talk, Kach Eina Ra'a, Sheinu Acherim, Kevan Shehu, Mehena Tamid Acherim, Im Yitnu, Harehem Yihu, Chaserim.
Oh, so here comes the big kiddush of the morale. This person is really a person who wants to benefit other people. Mahana Acherim. He's a person who really wants to benefit other people. All people. Wants everybody to benefit from him. Because of this, Eino Ra, he has a bad attitude. He has a bad attitude towards the giving of other people. Why? Mahana Tamid Acherim. Since this person is always busy benefiting other people, Gam Yitain, Im Yitain, Hari Haim Chaserim. These people, if they're going to give, they're going to be lacking, right?
So he's being altruistic.
He's being very altruistic. He's, I want to give and I don't want you to give. You keep what's yours. Keep what's yours, and I'm going to take care of the whole thing, right? You don't have to get involved. I'll take care of the whole thing. I don't want you to give. Don't give, because if you give, you're going to be lacking, and I don't want you to be lacking. I want everybody to have. That's why I give tzedakah. And I'm giving tzedakah, and I want to give all the tzedakah, because I don't want you to have to lose out and give from your own.
So I think there's a stira here in the Lashon.
Okay.
Because it says Ino Ra'a, which we're translating as a bad attitude.
Right.
It seems to me there should be another phrase that should be used if we're saying that this person is acting out of a motivation of wanting to do good, wanting to be good towards other people. Then we shouldn't say that he has an evil attitude towards them.
Mm-hmm.
We should say a different phrase, that he has an incorrect attitude or an improper attitude or something like that. But if you're saying that his attitude is bad, how can that be consistent with the idea that he's actually his motivation is good?
Let me explain it like this: that it's bad in the aspect that he's not seeing the big picture. Okay, he's looking at it. He's looking at it from a very, as you say, altruistic attitude, right? But nevertheless, as altruistic as it is, he's not seeing the big picture. That it could be that people, by giving the tzedakah that they're supposed to be obligated to give, and again, that's the whole point of this mission, is telling you about people who have obligations to give, right? That a person has an obligation to give, right? So you can't say to somebody else, don't fulfill your obligation because you're going to be lacking. If you fulfill your obligation, right, you're going to be lacking. You can't say don't spend money to buy tefillin because if you buy tefillin, you're going to be lacking money. You're going to lose out in money. You can't say that. The person has to put on tefillin. He has an obligation to spend his own money if necessary to buy tefillin, right? So likewise, this person has an obligation to the other people. The acherim have an obligation to give tzedakah. So you can't really come along and say, no, you shouldn't give tzedakah, because if you give tzedakah, you're going to be lacking. So rather let me give all the tzedakah, and therefore you can keep your money. Because the obligation of other people exists whether they're going to be giving themselves or whether someone's going to be giving instead of them. But they're still obligated to give tzedakah. So from that point of view, right, it's a bad attitude. Remember, this is one of the middle characteristics. We have four characteristics, the two extremes. One's a chassid and one's a rasha, and you have these two middle levels, right? So he's not a tzaddik, he's not a chassid from this attitude. This attitude, there's something really flawed in this attitude. It's not a perfect attitude.
But it's not a bad attitude. What I want to say is that there should be a phrase that means an erroneous attitude. It should say that this person has an erroneous attitude towards his friend.
Well, it could be that, but here the Mishnah is saying that it's a bad attitude because you're in a certain way you're preventing other people from doing their mitzvah. You know, if a person has a mitzvah to do and you come along and steal the mitzvah for them, it could be in terms of choshen mishpat, Jewish legal law, you're obligated to pay him money for stealing his mitzvah. Right? So by this person giving and perhaps in some cases preventing other people from giving, he could be preventing them from fulfilling the mitzvah that they should have been doing themselves, which is pretty bad. So there is obviously a mistake here. There's a mistake, obviously, number one, and but there could be consequences because of that mistake that are wrong, that are detrimental. Okay, let's continue. Wow, it's 10 to 10. All right, I guess we'll have to stop here. Okay, very good. Thank you for the reading, Mayor. Roy, hope to see you tomorrow afternoon. And Roy, Mayor and Lou, I guess we'll start the Mr. Bruce here in a few moments. We'll take a little break.
Okay, very good.